Hey guys, today I want to talk about vaccinations and the percentage that have been vaccinated in the Philippines. Now, 8.4% as of today have been vaccinated, fully vaccinated. I think those numbers could be a little bit off. I'm not sure how they do their counts because I saw a lot of people the other day in the mall. I'm not sure if everything has been reported so far. Usually it's not in the Philippines. They're a little bit behind on paperwork and stuff like that. I tend to believe that we're closer to 9 or 10% fully vaccinated. I'm not sure the number that's have been vaccinated just but once, because there's a lot of J&J vaccines out there now too. So I think that might be confusing some of the numbers a little bit. Okay, so that's part of the mix over here, because I think in the Philippines there's a little bit of confusion with some of these vaccines, because once you get the shot with the J&J, it's only one shot. So, but anyway, they said that they're at 8.4%. Rappler just said that the Philippines will be the last country to reach herd immunity, probably in Southeast Asia. That was according to Rappler, okay? I found that kind of interesting because I see the speed of the Philippines kind of speeding up, but it's probably happening the same way in other countries. They're probably speeding up too. Will they reach the speed of other countries? I think not. Because the Philippines is usually kind of behind the 8 ball in that case. But maybe they will. It's possible still. But it's usually, the Philippines is a little bit slower than the rest of the countries catching up on anything. They just usually are, unfortunately. Doesn't make it a bad country. It's just kind of the way things work here. I'll say this. I think, in all honesty, that we will still get this done by the end of the year. Okay? Could I be wrong? Hell yeah, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. But I think people are starting to catch on to this because of the variant going around. Even though to a lot of people it's not that big of a deal. People are just kind of sick and tired of this, and they're starting to realize, if I don't go out and get this shot, and I know there's pro and people against the vaccines, and I'm not taking sides on this or anything, I'm just saying that a lot of people are just sick and tired of hearing about this, and they're starting to realize that the government's not going to finish this until they're finished with this. And that's just the way it is. And, in the United States, in New York, they're starting to tell people, if you're not vaccinated and you can't show your card, you can't go into a restaurant, you can't go to a gym unless you show that card. It's kind of being like, set aside. Like, guess what? You're not going to be part of who we are anymore. You're gonna be different. We're going to take away your rights. You can't go out to eat, can't go to the movies, can't go to a gym unless you get a vaccination card. Good luck. That's what they're telling people, basically. It's not a good thing. It's not a fun thing, and I totally disagree with that, because I believe that people have religious rights. If they don't want to get that shot, they shouldn't have to get that shot, and that's religious rights. People have a right to be themselves to a certain extent. We have a right to be ourselves. Now, I heard that the United States might mandate this, and they can do that. Politicians can vote on this and mandate it. It's been mandated before. I believe it was in 1908. I think people had to take their vaccines or shots or something because of a pandemic that was going around back then. At least that's what I read online somewhere. So I read that the Supreme Court was going back to 1908 and said, well, we have this here, so that's why we can mandate it now. So I'm not sure if that's totally true, but that's what I read, because I know some things online are not always true, but that's what it said. So with this going on, and New York doing this, I would imagine that it's true. So if the U.S. goes and mandates it, boom, it's done. Everybody's got to go out to get shots. And if they don't, who knows what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I know what's going to happen. Those people are going to be singled out, criticized, make it hard for them to work. They're going to have to wear masks, probably make them wear shields too back in the States. Who knows? Maybe that'll be the new thing now. Well, you know what? You don't want to get your shot? Start wearing your shields tomorrow to work. I could see it happening. I could really see that happening. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. You know, I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong here. I'm just saying there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. You know? So, I'm not saying I'm pro-mandate or against mandate. I'm just speaking what's going on out there. You know? So that's my disclaimer. But the changes are certainly kind of scary. You know, they are kind of scary. I do worry about the way the world's heading. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't like the direction the world's heading in. You know, I wish this thing would just end and be over with. I think everybody wishes it would be over with so we can all move on with our life. And I think some people are trying to hold this here for whatever reason. It seems like that. Because Singapore has gone and moved on and says, hey, we're going to deal with this. We have to treat people in the hospital, we'll treat them in the hospital. That's the way it's going to be. Something we have to live with, but we're not going to shut down our economy. I don't know if the world's going to step backwards back into this muck again. It does seem like it a little bit, though. I can see certain people in charge that are ready to push forward to try to make it difficult on people. It's happening already. The United States is already starting to step in that muck in New York. You know? And I think we ought to just start moving forward now and deal with it as we have to. That's just my thoughts. That's my comments, my feelings, you know, and everybody has different thoughts on that, and I respect everybody out there for their different thoughts. But we do need to come to some common ground here and start letting people have their freedoms back. We only have one life. And if this thing drags out 5 or 10 years or something like that, which it seems like it could drag out, you know, but it might kind of end in some countries, but keep on rolling in other countries. You know, that's 5 or 10 years of our freedoms, man. I've lost 1.5 years here in the Philippines. Do I love it here? I still love it here, yes. But it is difficult. It is hard wearing a little mask every day and having to, you know, go to the mall and wear this here. You know, it's difficult. I'm not going to lie. And wearing a shield on top of that when it's hot. And it's hot as hell over here. It's in the 90s. It's sticky, it's humid, it's miserable. You know, and the AC in the malls, they've turned it up so people won't stay there as long, number one. And number two, because they're worried that COVID will get into the ducts, the air conditioning ducts. But now they're saying that it might have black mold in there because of the fact that they did that. So one half of this and another half of the other, you know. So we're making mistakes along the way. And it could be worse later on when they go to turn on these air conditioners in some of these malls and black mold spores start coming out and contaminating the malls, you know? And I'm not saying that's just in the Philippines. That's all throughout Asia that some of these countries are doing this, okay? Some countries are, some countries aren't. They're telling people, you know, turn up the AC, don't have it so low so it's not running so hard and so fast. Turn the fans down a little bit, things like that. I did notice in one of the stores, and I won't mention the name of the store so I won't get them in trouble, but it's one of the major stores in Tracy. I walked into the store and it was nice and cold. And I think the reason why it was so cold, because number one, people were complaining. I think the employees were complaining. And I think they just finally said, screw it. I'm going to have my AC on so I can be cool in the store. And I must say, I can't blame them. And when people are shopping, they want to be comfortable. And who wants to lose customers in this? People want to keep their customers, you know? And that makes it harder, for sure. Definitely makes it harder. Anyway, guys, I just want to chat about that a little bit. You know, 8.4%. It's not bad. We're getting there. The other day it was like 6.2 or 6.8 or whatever it was. That wasn't too long ago. So we're getting there. We're moving. And I think we're high. I think we're at 10%. That's my thoughts. I think the total count isn't in. The other day when I was at the mall, there was a ton of people there. Some people were making appointments so they could get their shots. And that's a good move. To get this stuff done. Be done with it. Move on. Anyway, guys, I know it's kind of a boring subject. We all hate talking about this stuff. I'm kind of burned out on it myself. I'm hoping it goes away soon. I want to live again. And I'm sure you guys do too, especially you guys back home waiting. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.